heavy winds in the area, two separate wildfires emerged, now being called the Crater Creek Fire. Thousands of residents have been warned to leave at a moment's notice.
Apparently the fire is really bad around the backside of the mountain. There are fist-sized embers landing in places. As you can see, the wind's picking up. You can see the direction of smoke.
This place was going to be hell in a few hours, and I needed to get out of there. And my only way out was with an helicopter.
Did you get eyes on the subject? No.
It's pretty frightening when you know you're going to die in a fire.
Why do I volunteer?
If you're gonna do search and rescue, you have to love it. You have to love getting that call at 3 in the morning.
You know, I volunteer because I love helping people in what could be the worst day of their life.
There's no charge for search and rescue, however, it does come at a cost. Family, our jobs, our friends.
When you step into the hall, everyone's there for that reason, and you can feel it in the air.
I love it. Every minute of it. It's my whole world now.
Search and rescue draws in so many different people. At the end of the day, there is still similarity in wanting to respond as a team, as a family, whatever the call might be.
Penticton, in my eyes, is this wonderful town nestled between two lakes and surrounded by mountains.
You can get from one end of the town to other in like 15 minutes.
Everything that you want to do outdoors is at your fingertips.
You can go between a lot of different types of terrain pretty quickly. Like many search and rescue teams, we are seeing a very high call volume.
When I joined Penticton Search and Rescue, our average call volume was about 55 calls per year. Even in my short time on the team of 7 years, things have changed significantly. We have more people coming and recreating in the area. We have more urban interface fires, which lead to evacuations. The number of houses that we're evacuating for fires now versus when I started has increased dramatically. Not only have they increased in number, but they've increased in intensity. Last year was the worst fire season on record in British Columbia. That in part was due to extreme drought. We haven't come out of that drought yet. I don't know when the fire season's gonna start, but we're kind of already on edge for it, to be honest. It could happen anytime.
Whew. Well, it finally happened. Through the reserve, down in a tree. Safe and sound, got myself secured. Emergency beacon sent out. See if somebody shows up. Out of water. Had my last power bar. Mouth is very dry. I am very sweaty.
Unusual SAR task, when it comes in, you're like, oh, sweet, it's that ringtone. Whatever I was doing has now pushed to the side. Now it's just the call in focus.
What we have is 37-year-old male stuck in the tree. They say he's uninjured. I'll need to know by 6:30, 6:45 if we have to use a helicopter.
It's pretty easy once you get there to find your place. Getting all the supplies together, getting information together. It definitely is exciting.
We have a right-handed unloading the UTVs.
SAR 4, radio check.
We just passed the first lake and we're 2K out from the subject. Do we have an update on if they've dispatched the heli yet?
Nothing yet. We'll advise as soon as they spool up. Over.
There's no such thing really as a standard rescue. The team generally talks about, what to do once we arrive on site. And then when you arrive on site, you adapt what you've spoken about to what reality is. And we get the subject out of the precarious position they're in.
So this is Mark from PennSAR. We've been asked to send a rescue and CDFL team up. So I've got 5 members going up by helicopter, and the helicopter will be spinning up in about 5 minutes.
Get the sardines.
Everybody good in the back? Yeah, awesome.
There's at least straight up that, but this trail is gonna start heading us down.
Do you want to split up?
101, 102, go ahead.
We are splitting up, and we're trying 2 separate routes to try and get to the subject.
Copy that, thank you.
Yeah, I actually thought I seen something as well too earlier. Oh, there he is, over 12 o'clock. Got him. Do we have the parachute inside?
We're going to give you rope.
Yes.
To lower, we'll assist you up. Okay.
The guys have got ropes up, they got them anchored, so they're going to lower them here shortly, 15 minutes, so we should have them to the machine, loaded up, ready to head out.
Team 102, you can return to base.
Copy that. Stand down.
Bill, it's nice to meet you.
Taking me for a tour, yeah.
Stay out of trees, but if you end up in one, call us.
Go ahead, yeah, fuck yeah. Well, you guys aren't actually that much help, honestly. I mean, the heli was good. But I'm waiting for the camera. Oh, fuck, the camera is rolling. Cut, edit that.
The teamwork aspect of SAR and like the camaraderie that comes out of it is like no other. We're all there for the common goal. And when that pager goes off, everyone who shows up isn't there for the paycheck. They're not there for their job. They're there because they want to be there. And I think that's really special.
I had more fun than a girl should have. I mean, I'm 50 years old there. Search and rescue has, enriched my life much more than any of the contribution I made to it. So, yeah, I look at that and I'm pretty proud of it all. Penticton Search and Rescue started in 1973. We were kind of a hodgepodge of people throughout the community with wool pants and checkered shirts and big old boots, and we still got the job done. Just brings back all the wonderful memories and the reason I was there for 25 years, That was a search dog, and we were sending him across, so he got used to that. Penticton was quite different. There weren't the orchards and vineyards and wineries that we have now that brings in so many tourists. Most of the people that we responded to were people from the area. We did do responses for the Garnet fire, evacuation notices, and also evacuating people. As things are changing, climate's changing, and we're having more fires, come higher expectations. Higher expectations from the agencies tasking us out, and even more so, higher expectations from the people that go out into the backcountry that are expecting to be rescued if they have a problem, but not really understanding who's coming for them. I mean, we all have to remember that these people are not paid and they're leaving their families every time they go out.
Getting pretty good at drawing flowers, though.
What does Dad do with search and rescue?
Save people.
When she would see a helicopter flying over, she'd ask him, "Hey, is that your search and rescue?" Right?
Not always.
Not always. Not anymore. You used to.
I like to say, actually, I told his family we first met on a search and rescue call. I said that I hiked and I rolled my ankle and I needed to call search and rescue to carry me out. And I said that he long lined in. And so that's what told them that it wasn't true because he wasn't on the long line team at the time.
Yeah, my dad knew right away. He called her out on it.
And then so we admitted it was Tinder. To be honest, I had no idea what search and rescue was. So when we first started dating, I knew that it was going out into the wilderness and saving people, but I didn't understand the extent of it.
If there's a call, everything else goes away. You're focused on that call. Like, you're not worried about work, you're not worried about your personal life. It's one task, you're working with this great group of people to complete it.
Through search and rescue, you get energized from those calls and you actually come back feeling really good about it.
Gives me a reason to put everything down and get out. Yeah, we're all volunteers. We wouldn't do it unless we loved it, right? It's a tough balance. I've burned out a couple of times. When we started dating, I was on a huge burnout.
What's a burnout?
It's when you get really, really tired and you have no energy to do anything because you've been going. You've been pushing yourself too far.
It's like being really tired.
I don't even know what that means.
It would be like if you played 7 days in a row without sleeping. I found that there's a few tasks that stick out in my mind and that I keep coming back to. Funny enough, it's not kind of the really gruesome ones. It's the reactions of family and yeah.
We are en route. Unfortunately, this one is a body recovery. Making this call unique, we have some family members that are in attendance, and unfortunately the father has gone down into the area along the water's edge there to perform CPR. So we're racing to get there.
The train's not running.
Yeah.
So you can just pull off right here. Just
Hey Spencer, grab both kinds of gloves.
I just want a last name because I do want to be here, but
we don't have the last name.
Okay.
I just get picked up if you think you know him. You don't want to be here.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's definitely bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Melissa knows the family, so she went with the mother. Yeah. And my thoughts are, your son and this fellow are
Same age.
same age.
Yep.
Yep.
I thought of that.
I'd like to make sure everybody's okay.
Just happy to help.
Yeah, I hear you.
Don't need to be down there. Just happy to help.
Hold on.
You hear these kind of calls that come in. I luckily haven't had to deal with a lot of them, but this one especially, it really does hit home.
You think about your own kids and your friends and their kids. Nobody knows how to react in that situation.
Stretcher's going to come up on the 200-meter ropes. Out to the side.
It's a little bit complicated down there.
Yeah.
Last time we had to, were you on that call? We had to haul from over there on the other side.
Is he in the water? Or?
I actually haven't seen him, but the father's with him. The father's been doing CPR for a long time. So
Where's the rest of the family?
the mother's gone.
She left.
Family friend took her home.
Okay.
She had 2 other kids at home.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I've done quite a few body recoveries, and the vast majority of the ones that I've done, family is not there. It's, we find someone or they have an accident by themselves. I can kind of compartmentalize it. But this one, family was there, and then I can't compartmentalize it anymore. This is a person, and it's been a tragic event that's affected more than just our subject, and it can be really tough.
when these calls come in, everyone knows that they're going to be hard on people. They're going to be weighing on people. So your team is out there in the field with you, trying to work with you. But after the calls are done, the team is there to support you too. It's a really special thing about search and rescue. I don't know if I've experienced it to this degree in any other part of my life. It's special.
We're out doing a mock exercise to evacuate parts of a neighborhood that are under evacuation order due to wildfire concern. The Okanagan in the last many years has been wrought with wildfire. There's a high likelihood that wildfires will burn into the urban interface here and put these homes that are kind of higher up on the mountain at risk for wildfire. Yeah, take a right here.
Commander 104. 5x5 104.
We've arrived at our task location. We're going to start notifying these residents now.
The male that answers the door is an unpleasant fellow. He immediately starts complaining that the wildfire service has no idea what they're doing. His wife seems more concerned and thinks maybe they should go. They do not give any indication as to what their plans are, and they are arguing as you leave the doorway and return to your vehicle. What advice would you give the occupants of this residence, and what color flagging would you place at this residence?
I try to just make a reasonable appeal, say that we're presenting these facts to them as we've been presented by the regional district.
This year, the risk of wildfires appears to be extreme. We're in a drought situation from over a year ago. There's no moisture in the soil.
Wildfires is an environment in which we're not used to working in, and as the frequency of these calls go up, our need to be more capable in responding to them is also increasing, which is putting a higher demand on the training requirements of our team.
So it's interesting, I had one last year in Osoyoos. We had that fire quite fast moving right near the town. And it was getting pretty late and we were winding up, and there was one place, and for some reason there was no lights on or anything, but there was a vehicle in the doorway, and I kept banging and banging and banging. Eventually the guy came out with his dog and he was asleep. And he went, evacuating? That fire's down by Oroville. And he said, come out your door. But he had been sleeping and had no idea that we were there. So he was kind of thankful that we stuck around and banged on the door a lot. So think about that if you do think there's someone there. Excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't do that.
What's a good year? 60?
The peak during COVID was like 85.
85? Yeah. It's almost a little bit overwhelming come summertime.
Well, because it's probably 85, but 60 of them are in 3 months.
August long weekend is always the busiest weekend. Like last August long, I think I had
5 hours of sleep.
There was 5 calls.
Yeah, seriously.
I think August long was like technically me and Julia's like third date, and she was staying at my house that weekend, and I was gone all weekend, like constantly going on calls.
Well, yeah, it didn't help with the wildfires, and I feel like from here on out it's going to start ramping up.
It would be great if we got paid, because I would love to do this as my full-time job. It hurts the paycheck a little bit here and there when I'm leaving, 3 or 4 times a week in the middle of summer because it's super busy, but I get by.
The ecosystem that the Okanagan sits in is what we would call a very active and frequent fire regime. Since European occupation, we immediately started to try and stop fire. We got so good at that we were able to stop about 95% of the fires. That significantly changed the vegetation structure, resulting in fires burning more aggressively. We used to be able to predict with some sort of certainty what was going to happen. If you look at all the news headlines, you'll see words like unprecedented, unexpected. In the last 10 years, we've had some of the largest and most destructive fires in the history of British Columbia.
With civil emergencies, it's all hands on deck. When we're doing fire evacuations, there's still other calls that are coming in. Occasionally during the fire season, we'll find out that there's a hiker who's gone lost and they're on the backside of a forest fire. Someone's got to get him out.
I always loved hiking from the day I was born, and Cathedral Lakes Park for me was just a beautiful park to discover. But silently, I'm like everybody else, all the hikers, we all silently hope that if something goes wrong, somebody will take the call and come to help. I had been gone now for over 2 weeks. And right around that time, I was getting warnings on my satellite device that we were heading into a heat wave. I needed to find a spot in the shade to relax, have lunch, and I found a nice spot in the shade, and then I sat down and looked up, and I saw those strange looking clouds. They were just so close by, and my mind didn't want to go there, but at one point I said, this is fire.
Due to heavy winds in the area, 2 separate wildfires emerged, now being called the Crater Creek Fire. Thousands of residents have been warned to leave at a moment's notice.
The fire's already down the hill, and it's approaching the creek bed here, so these houses are just on the other side. You know, the risk is the fire jumping across. We're just hoping that, you know, the water just extinguishes it itself.
We're just gonna go in here and we'll just start working streets. Hey, how you doing?
No, we're just shit. How are you?
No, we're okay. We're with search and rescue. You guys are now being put under order.
I ate.
You can see the fire.
Nowadays on our team, every member that's been around for more than a year has some tale about some sort of fire evacuation.
I actually really like doing them. You know, you're helping out a lot of people.
We're come to deliver the orders now.
The fire was really close, and things can change so quickly.
Are you going to leave or are you going to stay?
Right now. We could see the fire coming down just on the other side of the Similkameen, coming down the mountains, and trees were flaring up. You know, you think about all these poor people that could be my house next year. You know, that could be my parents' house the next year. Like, you never know where it's gonna happen, and it's kind of scary to think that at any moment you could be packing up and leaving and risking losing everything.
People just don't want to leave, you know, like they've worked all their life and this is what they have and they're going to stay and protect it.
I've been in evacuations where you're standing at the front door and 100 yards beside you, the fire's burning on the hill, and no, we're not going anywhere.
Do you plan on going? Or are you going to stick it out?
I'm not too. I've got my brother-in-law. He's a little disabled, so I'm not leaving until he leaves. I gotta stick around and help.
So you're keeping an eye on it though.
Yeah.
Just watch for that one, Michelle.
Yeah.
And get your brother-in-law out.
Yeah.
The mood's kind of changed with the team and the people we're talking to. It's kind of gone from quite friendly to pretty serious. As you can see, the wind's picking up, you can see the direction of smoke. Apparently the fire's really bad around the backside of the mountain, and that there are fist-sized embers landing in places. But yeah, look at that candling.
There was no place where to escape. The park ranger texted me and he said, the park is under evacuation. Your car is probably burned down. You have to stay where you are. These were the longest hours of my life.
Morning of August the 16th, about 10 o'clock, Victoria phones with a task from the RCMP.
Search and rescue volunteers responded to a call of a hiker trapped in the Crater Creek fire. Ron Burley and Norman Cole responded to the call via helicopter.
We have to realize we were going to be flying into an active fire zone. It was very dynamic, and it was a continually changing landscape.
The more fuel there is available to burn, the hotter the fire will burn. The hotter the fire burns, the more convective heat it produces. That creates winds which drive the fire even more.
If you want to crash a helicopter, you go fly in a forest fire. Pine trees were swinging violently, and it was obvious that a forest extraction would be very dangerous.
There wasn't any convenient place to land that was close by.
And fuel started to become a bit of an issue, which was driving our decision making.
So the helicopter came, flew over me. I am 100% sure they saw me, and they flew away. It's a bit of a disappointment, but if they were not set up to hoist me up, well, there was no point, hovering around here. I was really losing hope. It was really disheartening because I knew about the forecast, and I knew the wind was going to turn to the north, from the north. And this place was going to be hell in a few hours, and I needed to get out of there. And my only way out was with an helicopter, and there it was. It was not going to happen where I was. So yeah, it was a difficult moment, and. Fire is not a nice experience when you know you're going to die in fire. It's pretty frightening. Half an hour later, they came back, and then it dropped a note.
So at that point, we had determined that, okay, we're going to have to land, and we're going to have to hike to where he is. But in order for him to help himself, he needs to start heading north. I didn't have really anything to communicate with him except for my notepad. So I kept it short and concise. I just said, head north to the trailhead, and I said, we'll meet you.
So they were asking me to walk directly into the fire zone. I looked at the note. All what I saw was that walk this way and we'll meet you where. I didn't know what was going to be between here and there. I didn't know.
We knew that Bernie was heading towards us, and we knew that we would meet him along the trail there somewhere. We just knew that we couldn't waste any time.
When I saw these guys and finally got close enough to them to feel them as human beings, at that point, I knew I was going to make it.
The following morning, the entire area that they were in, totally involved in the fire, and it went right down to the U.S. border overnight.
I don't know, it's just a piece of paper, but it means so much to me. This note was the beginning of my salvation. If we didn't have an organized search and rescue structure here in British Columbia, nowhere near as many people would venture out because, at the end of the day, If something goes wrong and there's nobody to take the call, you're gonna think twice before you go out there and go discover and enjoy that beautiful backcountry. They have an enormous impact on people's life. I would be dead. And all these people would be mourning around me, and search and rescue changed the outcome, and I'm still going. It's wonderful. Thank you, Search and Rescue. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, all of you, and you really made a difference in my life.
You know, the decision always has to be made when the phone rings, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all volunteers, is do I have capacity to show up and take part and help out? And I think when you are in the environment that we were in last year with what was happening, it was easy to say, yes, I need to go and help and put down whatever you're doing and show up.
We all join Search and Rescue because we love the outdoors. That's already a given. It would be really difficult for me to go out and say, stop going out and doing something, because part of the reason I'm on Search and Rescue is because I love doing that stuff. No matter how much you plan or how much you might not plan, things are going to happen. And so that's where we come in Search and Rescue. We'll always be there to answer the call.
Since 2019, every year it just was ramping up more and more every year. Through COVID and the last couple of years with evacuations and the fires. So we're a little bit on edge waiting for that phone to ring. I always look at the beginning of September as the new year. It's a different pace of life. The weather starts to change. We're going to be getting a break.
I got it. Yeah. Oh, that was a pump fake. No, oh! Oh, yeah!
The end of the season, we get a few calls after this as it gets colder. This is where you get like the team, the real team. So, and you get to meet their family and their partners and kids.
This team is together in really precarious situations, and they're taking care of each other. So it's nice to see that when Jesse's out in these difficult situations, he's with people who care and are competent and love him and reciprocated. So it's really nice.
Super excited for the winter though. We're already talking about what training we're gonna do, so some avalanche stuff, some like winter response stuff, which I'm pretty excited for. So I don't know, I feel like we're just getting into it.
Every year I'm with the team, I love it more. It's like a family. It really is. It just grows and grows every year.
That's the best thing about SAR is it brings all these people together and they all become my friends because, you know, you get into it and it's like, oh, you like camping and you like hiking and you like rock climbing and you also want to go find lost people in the middle of the night? Awesome. Yeah, we're going to be great friends.
I like to think that the people that started Search and Rescue in British Columbia, they just had this common thought that someone's got to be there, and that's kind of what brings us all together.
Why do I volunteer? Because I get an opportunity to work with a whole bunch of amazing people doing good things.
Want to help people out on a bad day.
Just to make a difference in the community and help out, give something back.
You get to learn a ton of stuff, you get to be involved. It's just incredibly rewarding.
My kids are all grown up and graduated, and now it's time for me.
Great meeting people that want to do the same thing. It's a great way of giving back.
I love it. Every minute of it. It's my whole world now. Quickly consumed my whole life.